The day the sky opened. The sky tore open at dawn. They came in silence, not with thunder or flame, but with cold precision. Hundreds of ships descended through the atmosphere, black obelisks blotting out the sun as they hovered over every major population center on Earth. New York, Tokyo, Moscow, Nairobi. Their arrival was coordinated, clinical, like a surgeon preparing to make the first incision. The message came moments later. It wasn't a threat. It was a declaration, broadcast in every human language at once. Surrender your world. Resistance is futile. Compliance ensures painless integration. Non-compliance results in extinction. The voice was calm, almost bored. Major Aaron Vega watched it all unfold from the command bunker in Colorado Springs. The room buzzed with anxious voices, generals barking orders, analysts tracking alien movements. But Aaron stayed quiet. She stared at the massive digital map on the wall as red triangles, enemy ships, appeared like a virus spreading across the globe. They think this is going to be easy, she muttered. Across the room, Colonel Ramirez looked up from his tablet. It won't be. 3 minutes later, Earth responded. Not with words. With war. An F-22 squadron out of Alaska engaged a descending warcraft over the Pacific, scoring the first kill. Surface-to-air batteries in Poland and South Korea locked on and fired without hesitation. Somewhere in rural Texas, a retired veteran led a militia that shot down a dropship using scavenged missiles and sheer audacity. No chain of command. No hesitation. Just action. The aliens weren't ready for that. Aaron's unit moved out fast. By noon, she was boots on ground in Denver, helping coordinate evacuation efforts and reinforcing defenses. Civilians didn't wait to be told what to do. Mechanics turned forklifts into barricades. Farmers armed drones with makeshift explosives. Teens with laptops jammed alien comms for 5 minutes, long enough for local forces to overrun a crash site and seize tech. This wasn't a war Earth had prepared for, but it was a war Earth knew how to fight. From the skies above, Supreme Strategist Cattell observed the planet's response with growing curiosity. He expected chaos, yes, but not this kind. Not this strange blend of improvisation and savagery. The humans did not deploy formal fleets or legions. They fought in patches and fragments, but each patch bled defiance. Still, he thought, they are primitives. It would only take a few decisive strikes. He ordered 3 cities leveled. As the alien beams carved scars into the earth, Vegas stood among the rubble of a burning Denver block, rallying survivors. One woman passed her a shotgun. Found it in my neighbor's truck. Figured you'd need it. Another nodded. Aliens or not, they came to the wrong damn planet. Aaron cracked a grim smile. Let's make them regret that. Above them, another wave of enemy ships approached. This time, Earth would be waiting. Death World Doctrine. Supreme Strategist Cortell stared at the holodisplay, its glowing blue interface marred by a scatter of red and orange warning glyphs. Units lost. Communication relays disrupted. Ground forces requesting immediate extraction. This wasn't supposed to happen. Explain, Cortell hissed. The logistics AI, cold and unshaken, responded. Resistance exceeds projected norms. Terrain hazards unaccounted for. Civilian populations actively hostile. Cortell clenched his mandibles. Civilians? Humans were supposed to panic. They were supposed to surrender in confusion, like so many species before them. Instead, they fought in unpredictable, chaotic waves. They used terrain like a weapon. Swamps swallowed scout units. Mountains hit snipers. Forests burst into flames, triggered by traps layered with gasoline and homemade explosives. In one report, an entire patrol had been lost inside an abandoned subway tunnel system beneath Chicago. Infrared scans showed movement, but the forms were scattered and fast. One soldier claimed they'd been attacked by fire and blades from every angle. The squad's final transmission, static, followed by laughter. It wasn't natural. It wasn't war. It was personal. Underscore 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 underscore. In the Appalachian foothills, Major Erin Vega crawled through mud, her camo streaked with soot and blood. Her squad was lean. Just 6 people, but they'd already taken out 2 alien scout walkers and disabled a jammer array. They didn't have air support. They barely had clean water, but they had grit. Beside her, Corporal Diaz smirked as he finished wiring explosives to a tree trunk. Remember when we used to train for jungle warfare? I thought it was outdated. Vega chuckled, adjusting her rifle scope. Yeah, guess the aliens missed that memo. With a boom, the trap triggered. 2 alien exosuits were crushed by falling logs and an improvised fuel tank. The remaining enemies stumbled into a barrage of bullets and homemade incendiaries. The fight lasted less than a minute. From a ridge above, a pair of civilians waved. Hunters from Kentucky who'd been trailing the aliens for days. "You'll need backup," one of them yelled. Vega gave a tired thumbs up. "We'll take it." Meanwhile, in cyberspace, another war raged. The alien fleet had deployed AI-controlled data networks to monitor and suppress Earth communications. But they hadn't anticipated human hackers, especially not the kind with no rules, no oversight, and no fear. Calling themselves SpectreNet, a decentralized global group hijacked the alien systems through sheer creativity and brute force. Within hours, they'd taken control of 3 orbital drones and redirected them right into the alien forward base in Kazakhstan. It was now a smoking crater. Cortel listened as another officer reported a jungle ambush near the Amazon, where their elite skirmishers were outmaneuvered by tribespeople with poison darts and GPS tracking. Every environment, the officer said, is a battlefield to them. Cortel whispered the word, tasting it with disgust. Death Walders. Back in the field, Vega patched into a global broadcast. She stood in front of a camera mounted on a pickup truck hood. "This is Earth," she said. "We are not conquered. We are not afraid. And we are not done." Unity in ashes. The air above Berlin shimmered with smoke and plasma fire. Alien walkers, towering beasts of synthetic muscle and armor, stomped through the ruined streets, scattering debris and panic. Their energy lances lit the sky like lightning. And then, suddenly, one stopped. Its glowing joints flickered. A shudder rippled through its limbs. The walker turned, not toward the resistance fighters, but on its own kind. In a heartbeat, it opened fire on the second walker, shearing through it with brutal efficiency. A cheer erupted from the human lines. Inside a fortified bunker beneath the Reichstag, engineers and hackers who'd barely met 3 days ago erupted in celebration. They had done it. Successfully hijacked an alien battle platform using spliced Earth tech and a code injection built from scavenged alien neural mesh. It was the first time in the war that Earth had turned the invaders' own weapons against them. And it wouldn't be the last. Across the world, similar victories were stacking up. In South Africa, a coalition of scientists and soldiers created a device that scrambled alien targeting arrays using simple weather balloon patterns. In Canada, wildfire teams had repurposed their gear to hunt alien scouts in icy forests. In Japan, former robotics engineers built walking drones out of car parts and salvaged energy cells. Major Erin Vega trudged through the mud outside Warsaw, bruised and burned, but alive. Her unit had just repelled a drone assault on a refugee convoy, using nothing but EMP mines and grit. They were running low on everything: ammo, rations, sleep. But morale, it was higher than ever. That night, around a fire, Vega finally allowed herself a moment to breathe. Beside her, Corporal Diaz passed her a can of cold beans and nodded toward the night sky. "Think they'll quit?" Vega shook her head. "Not yet, but they are bleeding, and we've got the scent." She looked around the fire. Her squad was a patchwork of soldiers, volunteers, and one retired schoolteacher who now ran comms like a general. None of them had trained for alien war, but all of them had learned it fast. High above Earth, on the orbiting dreadnought Vraxos Ascendant, Supreme Strategist Cortel watched yet another report of lost units scroll across the holodisplay. Every attempt at control unraveled faster than the last. He consulted the fleet AI. Probability of successful conquest, 23%. And falling. The strategist turned toward the stars. This world is diseased, he growled. With chaos. With defiance. They cannot be tamed. The AI responded with something uncharacteristic of its usual monotone. They are not tameable. They are human. In a former news studio in London, a pirate broadcast ignited the airwaves. The words rang out in a dozen languages. They came to conquer us. They failed. Because we are not one people. We are many. And when you push many people to the edge, they become one. In her tent, Vega heard the words over her battered comm unit. She smiled grimly and strapped her armor back on. The war was far from over. But for the first time, Earth was winning. The reckoning. The stars above Earth were no longer peaceful. A swarm of human-modified ships, patched together from old military tech and salvaged alien hardware, punched through the upper atmosphere like a tide of vengeance. What began as desperation had become coordination. What began as survival had become retaliation. Major Aaron Vega sat strapped inside the cargo hold of Thunderchild, a retrofitted space shuttle bristling with stolen plasma turrets and armor plating cannibalized from a downed destroyer. The assault team around her was silent. Focused. Each of them wore mismatched gear. Some in camo, others in civilian jackets with body armor strapped over. No uniforms. No standard issue. Just humans. 2 minutes to breach, the pilot called. Vega nodded, tightening her gloves. Let's send them home in pieces. On the bridge of the alien flagship, Vraxos Ascendant, Supreme Strategist Cortel watched as emergency lights flickered. He'd underestimated them. What had started as an easy conquest had become a costly, spiraling conflict. Supply lines were failing. Morale was shattered. Hundreds of officers had defected, some even choosing death rather than face another ambush. They cannot win, he muttered. They are fractured. They lack unity. The fleet AI responded without emotion. They lack unity, strategist, but not purpose. That is far more dangerous. Then the hull trembled. Impact alarms screamed. The humans had arrived. The breach was violent. Thunderchild tore through the hangar bay of the alien ship, its side doors bursting open as Vega's team poured out, weapons blazing. Plasma fire lit the corridor. Human shouts echoed against sterile alien metal. Vega led from the front, her rifle slung over one shoulder, a makeshift energy blade in the other, crafted from repurposed alien tech. She fought like every inch of ground was sacred. Because to her, it was. They cut through resistance with brutal efficiency, moving from corridor to corridor, disabling systems and clearing rooms. They weren't just fighting to win. They were fighting to end it. At the command nexus, Vega burst through the final door, her team flanking both sides. Cortel stood alone. He growled. You led this chaos. Vega's armor was scorched, her face blooded, but her eyes were steady. You came to conquer us, she said, raising her weapon. You didn't expect us to hit back harder. Cortel drew a blade, lunging forward in one final act of dominance. He never reached her. Her blade plunged through his chest in a single, clean motion. He collapsed, choking on disbelief. Hours later, as the alien fleet fractured and fled, humanity stood bruised, blooded, but not broken. Broadcasts went out across every channel. One voice, one message, carried across the stars. To any who listen, Earth stands. We are no one's colony. We are not a species to be ruled. We are the line that cannot be crossed. Major Vega stood on a snowy ridge, overlooking the wreckage of the fallen flagship. She didn't smile. She just whispered, next time, send someone smarter. Because Earth was ready now, and no one would take it without paying the price.